been a long time waiting.
4 very, very long years, Chief.
Dean Pay, yes! Fiddler's pass inside for Brescia. Brescia runs onto it strongly. Bradley Clyde, a try!
You city slickers don't know what you're in for.
You bushies have had to come to the big smoke to learn how to play football.
Menzies, 10 metres out. Will they stop Stephen Menzies? No, they won't.
And aren't we quick learners, Spud?
Oh, Croker's put a big right hand out.
Yeah, we'll see, Chief. We'll see.
Ettinghausen will score. Adam Muir, he's going to win it for country.
We will see, Spud. We'll see. We'll win, mate. You got nothing.
Serious?
All the way, Brad Fittler for City. Matt Kennedy and come-in spinner. Oh, Harrigan went looking for Mark Carroll.
City versus country. Let the tradition continue, boys. On 9 Country Friday Night Football.
One of 24 players making their senior representative debut leads out the City Origin side. And obviously the support of the Bathurst people will be behind the country team. They're chasing 3 straight victories in these matches, going back 96-97. Both games won by Country Origin. Test and Origin star of last year finds himself in some ways having to start all over again via this match tonight. Dumped after Origin won. He's been given the captaincy for this
by Jason Moody at full. Parramatta's the fullback.
West wind, around about 12 degrees.
Game of this calibre. It will be Brett Camorley to get us underway. Country to run from right to left on your screens to get things going tonight. The countdown starts to State of Origin number 2. And Camorley. His kick finding Hodgson, who will be looking to carry on his outstanding form for Parramatta recently, and one of his Eels teammates, Jason Kalis. Real bolter for this side. 15 metres out from the City line. Now Steve Menzies. Very good match last Friday night against the Warriors for the Northern Eagles. Ian Rubin. Roosters front rower upended in the tackle there of Hindmarsh. 25 metres away from their line, and Drew turning to the left with the captain, Lance Thompson. Head-to-head since that Origin format started for City Country. 11 battles, Country have won 4, but tonight they chase 3 straight. And Nathan Blacklock. So much sympathy directed his way this week. Making that stateside. And now Darren Albert. 20-metre line, Country's first use of the football. Glenn Morrison has made his way from Townsville for this match tonight, but a few players have deserved their selection more on the Country side than Morrison. He's been in great form for the Cowboys. And now Darren Brett, short of the 40-metre line for Country. Back infield with Jason Riles. The West Wollongong club. Camorley's first kick in general play from halfway. One bounce for Hodgson. Able to run straight there at the lock forward, Jason Croker. There's a bit of an injury cloud coming into this game. One of those players dumped after Origin. Won it again. Some physical defence from the Country boys. Close there was Tahu and Morrison. And a little personal from Jody Gall, I think it was, for City. As Orford drifts wide now with Hodgson, and again some bruising defence over the top. That time it was Hindmarsh on Dykes. Menzies for City. Able to offload. Pass that's allowed to bounce there by Jody Gall, and City putting themselves under big pressure. They've come up with a ball, but it is tackle number 5. Kalis it was who got to the scraps and offered a rush kick from just outside the 30. Jason Moody.
And a very impressive start from the Country boys, hitting hard in defence. Some good desperation shown by Tahu trying to get on that loose ball. As Glenn Morrison now picks up some leaders on the blind side, just short of the halfway.
Field with Riles, his second hit up of the night, that time running headlong into Rubin, but an offload, and Badiris for Morrison. Now with Moody. 5 metres inside their own half. The dummy half was Croker, then Camorley. The cutout ball, it's with a 5'8" Hill. The Melbourne half 5'8" reunited tonight, 40 metres from the city line. Country have made a very impressive start to this match, and now with Darren Britt, probably as close to a local hero as we have tonight. Born and bred in Orange, some 40 or 50 kilometres from here, further west as Hill's kick. Looked a little strong off the boot. Hodgson's getting back for City, but over the dead ball line.
The idea was good. His execution was a little bit poor. Brett Kamali stood on this side calling for the football as though he was going to kick. And Medeiros raided down the right-hand side, hoping to catch the City defence out as Ian Rubin now, at his own danger area, picks up 4 or 5 middle of the field.
A little heavy in the centre of Carrington Park as that's Thompson now. Good run from Thompson to halfway. He carried Ian Hindmarsh with him for 7 or 8 metres. A little slow to clear there, Hindmarsh. Now Brad Drew attacking that blind side, and they are away with Minicello for City. Stands up Moody. That's too easy for City. Minicello. The Roosters. Azam El Masri, the man who will look to convert. Leading try scorer for the Bulldogs. Of course, we've got Blacklock with 17 and Darren Albert in the Countryside. So City make the start on the scoreboard. You would have to say the first 4 or 5 minutes belong to Country. And now Masri from in front. Our Friday night football is underway, and 6-0 City leading Country. 6 minutes gone. And Anthony Minicello try, a Hazem El Masri goal, and City find themselves up by 6 points to 0. Rubin. Had a steam up running back at Darren Britt. Number of 30 pluses in this match. Certainly the selectors weren't just picking the youth for this game. They looked at the experienced players. Darren Britt on the bench for City. You've got Barry and Colin Ward.
The first penalty of the match going City's way. I was talking to Brett Kenny this afternoon, who been helping Graham Murray with the preparation of this City team. He said their preparation had been superb. In fact, in the first 2 training sessions, they'd only dropped 2 balls. Only 2 passes had gone to ground, and they trained particularly well. And that's been justified with this start on the scoreboard as Adam Dykes throws the dummy. It's not taken by Croker.
35 metres away. Hodgson up in the line at dummy half and working the blind on the right side of the field with Gall this time. Bounced away from the first attempt there of Kamali. Tahu there to cover up. Now Drew. 20 metres from the Country line. Orford. Cut out pass there for Dykes. It's confident attack for Menzies. And cut down on the tackle of Chris Hicks. Rookie centre. Playing for Country tonight. Orford. Back inside for Kalis. Put into that run. That is the 5th tackle for City. Drew. And then with Orford, that kick off the leg of Croker. It's come back nicely though for Country. So they get through that set of 6, and now with Chris Hicks running back for Country.
Been some big defence tonight by the Country boys as they get a penalty. Interference in the play of the ball, but predicting a big game for Matt Orford already in the first 8 minutes. He's shown a willingness to run the footy to the line, and he's already creating some problems for the Country defence.
With Scott Hill. Would be disappointed that he hasn't had a look into the New South Wales side, having been there last year, 3 straight games. Nathan Brown, head trainer for the Country side tonight. He's also wired up for Channel 9 tonight. There'll be a feature on Nathan on the Footy Show next Thursday, and we'll bring you any interesting comments from Nathan through the course of this match. As Kamali now attacks, got under a high tackle from Drew, and then for Morrison. 20 away for Croker. Got past Hodgson, but the cover of Menzies was there. 15 away, Morrison, Kamali, then on for Hill. It's slick hands and put down. And now the counter-attack from Gazdia. And the chase is really on. Mooney in pursuit of Gazdia. Albert is coming from the clouds. Gazdia, Albert, what great rugby league. Gazdia gets there. Stunning stuff from City. Almost the length of the field, their second try. 10-0.
Stunning.
He's really only played he hasn't yet played a full season. So came up through the City ranks via Enfield, inner City.
Really enjoying a bumper season, isn't he, for the Bulldogs? And this is one area of his game that has improved markedly. Obviously much more practice going in. I think he's done some work with Daryl Halligan. And the way he's kicked this year, he will go very close to making it a 12-point lead.
Well, he has 130 points for the Dogs this year. This one from the sideline. Western touchline here at Carrington Park. Kick from El Masri is going to hang wide.
As I said, that's the last time Drew gets around the ruck. Take no dummies from him. And outside backs, on early plays when you've got the ball, you've got to work, push up in support and work for each other.
His debut in the captaincy ranks, representative football. He's off to a miserable start. They need some inspiring words. Cello, little dart for him, 25 metres away from the city line. Drew, infield for Ruben. Impressive start from Ian Ruben.
Hands out, Danny.
Look at Morrison. Drew again. Another point of interest is how Graham Murray uses Craig Wing tonight. Will he follow the same policy as he does at the Roosters? Waits till about the 20 or 25 minute mark. Can slot into any number of positions. Ben Gallier on the bench for City too, can cover anywhere in the pack just about. He's a former schoolboy hooker now playing lock for the West Tigers. Big kick downfield. Moody back and won't have to make a play at it.
Yeah, just a touch too long there from Adam Dykes, kicking just outside of his 40. Very important now that Country consolidate their place in this game. They'd be extremely disappointed in the poor defence allowing the first try, but they've got to make sure that the second try isn't in their heads at all. That was just unlucky. It's all taken advantage of by Mark Gasnier. Really, they need a good spell now in this match. Try to dominate a little bit of possession and full position.
I saw that stat. The boys have completed all 7 sets of 6 so far. But they've had the football. Morrison inside City territory. The clear that time was Dykes. Now Kamali kicked down the blind side, keeping it low. Hodgson's got this one covered. 10 metres out from his own line. First man through was Tamana Tahu. Still really yet to make a definite decision either way whether he's going to be eligible for the Kangaroos down the track if he is to be selected somewhere down the line, or New Zealand.
Well, that's an incredible statistic we just saw there. Time in opposition, half. The Countryside have been in City's half 72% and yet trailed by 10.
City working to that left side. Menzies losing the ball on the tackle. It's come the way of Riles. Bounces away from his Dragons teammate Thompson. So an opportunity here for the Country team. 31 metres away from the City line. Morrison, hard worker, taken front on there from City. There's Thompson up on the line with Kalis. Kamali inside for Croker from Crookwell. Third time playing for City, or playing for Country Origin against City. 15 metres away, Badiris has a run. Badiris has a run with great success. Gets the pass for Darren Brett. Yeah, we'll make him the local hero. The bloke from Orange has scored the first try for Country.
From Danny Badiris. We saw Brad Drew put his side away, and Badiris, the other hooker, has answered in kind.
And not only is Chris Hicks a bolter for the centres for Country, he also becomes the first choice kicker. Plays second string to Ryan Girdler at the Panthers. Normally on the wing for Penrith. Successful with his first kick of the night. So rejuvenated the battles of City and Country. 3 tries already in the opening. Riles running back at Thompson. There's a bit of a battle happening between the two Dragons teammates here. Mate versus mate, Riles and Thompson. Croker, risky pass here. Country with Riles and Badiris. They've kept it alive and they've done well with Moody. Over the 40-metre line. Badiris now Country slipping into a groove with Hill. Kamali, a dummy. Not fallen for by Dykes. Good defence on the inside. 39 metres away from the City line, but they have got City backpedaling here, the Country team, as Darren Brett carts it up to the 30. Badiris back to the left with Kamali. Morrison working an inside passage there, running straight at Dykes. 5th tackle for Country. Impressive set of 6 to follow their first try. Kamali's kick, not a good one. Fielded by Eagles teammate Menzies. So for 5 tackles, that was spot on from Country. The kick at the end, not that flash. The first try scorer, Minicello, taken back by Hill. Kept alive for Thompson. Last 3 matches between City and Country, we go back to 95, 96, 97, all played in wet conditions. Again tonight, greasy. The rain, the heaviest of the rain has held off. Jody Gall a juggle. That last meeting, April 25. Chief, the captain of the countryside. Brad Fittler was captain of City. Hawthorn Stadium. Fifth tackle here for City on their own 40-metre line. Orford, a stumble, got away from Badeiras. Now there is pressure on Hodgson, getting the kick downfield. A run coming for Nathan Blacklock. Good to see open space. Tackle 8 metres inside the country half. Moody in field with Morrison. Straight past Drew. Drew's come up with a football. It's almost as if Drew bent in to make the tackle and just went the wrong line.
Yeah, it's almost like he's got some sort of shoulder injury. He's not willing to use that right shoulder to make the tackles. That's 2 he's missed on that side.
City with it. Just inside the country half. Reuben, quite the same sting in that hit up. The Roosters front rower, 40 away from the country line. He's only played half a dozen games this year, Ian Reuben.
Yeah, he's gone straight to the sideline. Colin Ward about to come into the action for City. He's on the 4th tackle now, Jason Kalis. Nice little in and away, but he's lost the football straight into the arms of Darren Britt. And on goes the number 15, Ward.
Just outside their 30 with Moody. Think about your country blokes playing in the City. Jason Moody fits in that bracket. That's as country as they come. The moment he finishes his commitments with Parramatta, he'll be back to the bush. Croker, 48 metres away now from the City line. Working left with Riles. Running straight at Ward. Seems like every time Riles finds the ball, he's finding a Dragons teammate to run at. Badeiras with Kamali on tackle 5, kicking back to the centre of the field. Minicello read it well. Flawless game from the Roosters winger to start with. Tackled 15 metres out from the City line. Drew is back. Lance Thompson. Hurstville Junior, Lance Thompson. Schooled at Kingsgrove High with Colin Ward. Have to go too far back to find when he went to school. Colin Ward in his 30s, oldest player out there. Gaznia now to the 40-metre line for City. And they roll forward with Brad Drew. Orford with Dykes. And Tahu on his back. Wonderful ball back for Orford. A little bit of ad-lib play, and Gall keeps it going now for Colin Best. Speculation with the passes. Best has been hurt in the tackle. 35 away, last tackle for City. And from the country line, Dykes' left foot kick. It is high to the wing of Albert. Best is still down in back play for City. Good luck to the blokes out there. I can't believe Preston Campbell isn't one of the wingers or fullback for the country origin side tonight.
Well, this is a real problem for Colin Best. They've signalled to the sideline already. Really struggling with a leg injury. Looked like an ankle when he went down, but he's actually holding higher up around the hamstring area, and they are attacking this side, so there's an opportunity. Country just unable to get the ball wide enough. As Best struggling to get off the field.
Might well see Steve Menzies go to the centres too. I can see Ben Galea warming up for City. It's going to cause quite a reshuffle. Country with Kamali kicking from halfway on the last. Again towards the wing of Minicello. This is a perfectly weighted kick. Hodgson's going to have to play it, is he? He will, and he had 1 foot over the dead ball line. So this will be a line dropout.
Well, he's waiting for that footy to just refuse to. And he had a foot over there when he picked it up. Now, last year, that would have been a 20-metre restart. Not this year. They changed that rule. As Colin Best, might be a hemi. Up high there in the buttocks.
It's on the eastern touchline, Colin Best. He's got the long walkway back to the City bench. Short dropout. Not deliberate. Perry's out there for Newcastle. First touch. Young Knights front rower. And now with Croker.
A bit shortened up in that tackle, Josh Perry.
Denis Badeiras. Scott Hill. Short pass now with Hindmarsh almost able to slip the pass 5 metres away. Would have been a try. Badeiras for Hill. Still on the left side for Country. Inside pass for Kamali. There is the Melbourne combination. The ex-Melbourne.
With Kamali. And after he scored that try, Kamali pointed at Scott Hill and said, they were the days. The old Melbourne Storm days. Got plenty of them. Good stuff by Country there.
And Hicks again from right in front for the Country team. They trail by 10 points to 0. They have struck back twice, 2 converted tries, 24 gone, Friday night football. Country up by 2 with Matt Orford. Friday night footy, 12-10. As we said right at the top, we count down all the while to New South Wales, Queensland on Sunday night. State of Origin number 2. We'll have it live for you from 7:30.
And with that injury to Colin Best, point out Steve Menzies may move to the centres. He has in fact done that. He's playing on the right-hand side in defence. Badiris going that way to Morrison. Runners on the outside. Fairly heavy hit there from Colin Ward. Badiris again looking down the blind. Tahu, no winger in support.
Well, again, another great set of 6 to follow up the try. They did it last time. Badiris is working left with Blacklock. Very little room to move, even for the effective Nathan Blacklock over the sideline.
Yeah, I'm sure Nathan's very excited to be a part of this game, but it's a difficult match for Nathan Blacklock. There is such an expectation about him. He's been in the news so much, everybody's saying he should be in a sky blue jersey this weekend. There's almost an air of disappointment when he gets the football and doesn't beat 3, chip over the top, regather and score.
With a scrum win at Menzies. So he's out of the scrum for the rest of the night. To see Colin Best returning. Well, Harrigan will have news on that, Chief. What's the story with Colin Best?
Yeah, Colin Best is, I think he's going to be okay coming on soon. I just want to mention the combination between Hill and Kamali starting to come into play again now. And just Jason Riles has just left the field this evening, but he's had a wonderful game. And it's good to see the combination between him and Britt. Britt's played over 200 first-grade games, and Jason Riles only 21. Along with Josh Perry, he's only played 16 too. So a good blend of enthusiasm with youth and also experience.
Chief was talking. We just saw Glenn Morrison settle with Colin Ward from a previous shot on the previous set of 6. He's certainly got old Colin back. Here is Croker for Country. Defence from Dykes. Assist from Kalis. So the feeling returns after an open passage of play. Now with Tahu. Sort of halfway. Steve Simpson. Broke just outside Singleton. Steve Simpson. And this Country squad now Fitzgibbon from Dapto. And back for Simpson. Then for Hill. Great confidence being shown in attack by the Country team. On the last tackle, Kamali is going to kick for the wing of Nathan Blacklock. Here is some expectation. Coming down for El Masri. He's put it down. Play on for Country with Morrison. The dummy to Blacklock and tackled 3 metres short of the line. Tahu's a dummy half. 0 tackle. Croker. Juggled there by Perry. Still on the right-hand side for Country. They're strung out that way, and I can tell you Blacklock is in the centre of the field. He's drifting as Simpson takes it towards the uprights. Badiris to the left with Kamali. Here is Perry running up the line. The Young Knights prop has steamrolled his way over.
And Chris Hicks has a chance to take them to an 8-point lead.
We talked about Chris Hicks being named at centre for this Country side. One of the Country selectors said based on his game last Saturday night for Penrith, he only played the first 2 minutes in the centres. He was switched to fullback. An injury to Reece Wesser. Yes, he came up with a couple of tries, but it was an unusual one. He was considered as a centre, but here he is tonight. And he's landed 3 from 3, so he is a contributor. 18 points to 10, and a big smile on the man on the sideline, Paul Harrigan, a Knights boy, a front rower. Only 16 first-grade matches in the Countryside tonight.
And of course he did spend a couple of weeks on the sideline this year with a broken hand. So he's bounced back from that well. Jason Croker has been heavily involved tonight, playing a little bit wide on the left-hand side. And Danny Badiris, good service out of dummy half. Try scorer, pops one out the back. Morrison cleans up a game as he's done so often tonight.
And away for Fitzgibbon. Tackled 8 metres inside the Country half. Badiris, Kamali, but City very much on their heels here. Hill, Country making the running. Kamali is inside the City half now. Rolled in the tackle there of Galea. West Tiger, the lone West Tiger on show tonight. Croker 31 metres away, Simpkins says last. Badiris, Kamali running it for Hill. Step off the right from Scott Hill. Play on for Country and the kick from Kamali. Drilled across field. El Masri on the bounce. Running at Tahu. As we told you, Nathan Brown wired up. Had a bit to say to the Country team after that most recent try from Josh Perry.
Back again, Brett. Hey, Noddy. Oh. Hey, Noddy, the coach said, mate, when you get a chance, just ask the ref if we're going to get a penalty this half. Boys, if you consider yourself a dummy half runner, later in our sets, you try and get in and have a bit of a dummy half run later in the sets after 2 plays if you can.
For those people who don't know, the nickname's Noddy is Brett Kamali, the halfback for Country. Brian Smith wanting him to ask the referee about the penalty situation. They only trail 3-2. As Brett Hodgson into the clear, ankle tap by Jason Croker.
Slid his way over the 40-metre line. Away with Orford. Trying that chip over the top. There is a bounce for Craig Wing, his first touch. And the pass on the inside, I thought Morrison may have tackled early on Orford. In anticipation, Country have come up with it. Fitzgibbon. Quick old pass, and Albert has to go back.
Yeah, the boys are showing all their skills tonight. Little set play there for Craig Wing on the charge. He gets it back. Offloads then to Orford. And was he tackled early or simultaneously? They say that was okay. Good strong hit there from Glenn Morrison over the top.
Yeah, that was fine from Morrison. A terrific game, as Chief said. 30 metres away now, Country. In position for a fourth try, perhaps. Badiris to the right with Kamali. A little dart. So confident for Fitzgibbon. Then away for Hicks. There's another Country try. The Bathurst crew, they're loving it. Country have their fourth try. This one has gone to a young Panther. South Wales was to lose on Sunday night. Could Kamali come straight back into the blue side for game 3? Would the selectors do that?
Well, this is the way that great players react to disappointment and adversity. Now, Brett Kamali, his club form has been particularly good in the last couple of weeks. He felt that might have been enough to get him into the side Sunday night. But he knew how important it was to come out and be impressive tonight, and he's really taken this game by the scruff of the neck. He's handling the football more than anybody else on the field, and he's doing good things with it. And that's why we've seen Country score 22 straight points, maybe 24.
Toughest kick of the evening for Chris Hicks. Right on that western touchline. Off the boot. This one needs a bit of fade. Not there. His first miss. He just got the ball down. He did seem to roll it forward once he got to the in-goal area. He was losing control as he hit the deck. Perry. Straight charge. Let's see if they're certainly showing that they're heeding the instructions relayed by Nathan Brown. The power set of 6 from Country. Already 40 metres from the city line. And Hill's kick has copped a deflection on the way through, so the chasers are onside. Hodgson has to play at it. He's on the dead ball line, then does a jump, then changes direction and is now trapped.
Brett Hodgson played at that football, obviously in the belief that the referee would have signalled it was played at by his team.
He had signalled play on, Pete. So he was forced to grab it, and the Country defence came at him. They swarmed.
Not detected by the touch judge. They wanted to see how far he could go. And Murray looking a little tense in the stands. Now McLindon has his first touch for Country. All the bench players out there. And the maroon and gold, they are on the charge. Here is Fitzgibbon. Strong impact off the bench. 12 metres away from the city line. Hill, Kamali, 6 and 7 combine again for Croker. Of experience there in Jason Croker. 100 career tries. Kamali throws it out for Blacklock. Blacklock for the corner. It'll be off to the video referee.
I think El Masri's come up with a try saver, although there is plenty of jubilation around Nathan Blacklock. I don't know whether Nathan is that confident. I've just got a sneaky corner flag before he gets the ball down.
Well, yeah, I think his left arm just lanced it.
Yeah,
his elbow. So well done by El Masri. If the video referee sees it that way.
I think he's bounced it anyway, Paul, to be honest. I think the video ref, Chris Ward, is the villain. And I'm prepared to say glance, corner post, end drop ball.
I don't think he dropped the ball from that front shot end. I know that This replay looks like he loses it, but I actually think he had control of it with the right arm.
City are back with it. Ben Galea tackled short of the 30 and back in for Ward now. There's Colin. Bustling Barry is looking for a barnstorming run in Bathurst at some point. He's out there. They're 5 short of halfway. Just thought I'd fire the first B shot. Here he is, Barry Ward. It's a City jumper at 30. Debut back in 1990. Craig Wing out of dummy half. 2 metres from the country line, 5th tackle. But in terms of metres made, nowhere near what Country are doing with a football in their hand. Here's Dyke's kick on the bounce. Clinton playing at fullback. All positions in the back line for Canberra from halfback all the way through to the number 1. Oh, Albert is taken high there. It was Barry Ward who came over the top as the second man of the tackle. Now Morrison. It's that pass of that tackle on Albert from Ward. It was certainly a collar, the left arm, around the throat of Darren Albert. 2.5 minutes of this first half as Kamali has started it again. Almost he had Blacklock trailing through. Last tackle with McClendon. They run it. Hill. There was a question mark on the pass. Albert sliding through. Keeps it alive for Country. It's still play on. Badera's still the last tackle though. And now again with Blacklock from the left wing. He finds himself 10 in from the western touchline and then the intercept for Dykes.
Well, razzle-dazzle stuff there from the Countryside, knowing it was the last, keeping it alive. Unfortunately, the last pass from Blacklock went straight into the arms of the City jumper. Now, Paul Harrigan, can you allay the fears of John Lang concerning the fitness of Colin Best?
I can't yet. Colin Best, he's got a minor strain of his medial ligament. He's been running up and down the sideline here a little bit. Hopefully, he'll be back out in the second half.
There's Colin, retreated to the bench right now, and now a play the ball penalty has come 90 seconds before half-time against Jody Gall. Not getting to his feet with the ball in his hands. He's just planted it on the ground under the attentions of Steve Simpson. So City have to hang on for one set of 6 coming up to half-time.
That's a very good decision from Paul Simpkins, exactly right. I must give Paul Simpkins a big rap on his performance in the first 40 minutes. He's allowed play to flow. Just the 3 penalties. We haven't seen too many more that were needed. Steve Simpson inside the 20.
Galea was there in defence. Couple of balls on the field. Just a temporary hold-up. They set to the left with Fitzgibbon. Every run has been with purpose from the Roosters' back rower tonight. Badera with Kamali. Croker was a decoy. Hill inside ball. Doesn't come off for Morrison. And they've got a knock forward from Jody Gall there. Just got to
maybe 1 to 2 tackles if they can get this scrum set.
So this scrum, this might be a very tough call against Jody Gall again. I don't think the first one wasn't to play the ball, but he certainly wasn't playing at it to get a scrum foot against him. But Croker's pass hasn't found the mark, so it's a very scrappy end of the first half. I don't think there'll be time for this scrum to pack. Play fine, breaking from the scrum and working towards the wing of Nathan Blacklock. Alford's done well in the tackle and Blacklock was no chance. So an unusual first
6. The Black Collins Armour. A lot of football early. That's the first try to Minicello, the second one there to Gaznia.
It's all Country's way, isn't it? Kicks in play have been very good. They've been shared by Kamali.
3 straight, Country over City in the box seat. Simpkins gets us underway for the second half. Orford the man with a kick. This is down for McClendon. One of those try scorers from the first half. Josh Perry. We gave you the stat at the top of the game. 24 players tonight playing their first senior representative game. Morrison not among them. Played in that last City Country Origin game in '97. He's been the strongest out there tonight. Simpson to play at 10 short of halfway for Country. Dearest for Fitzgibbon. Inside front on was Galea. Injury in the first half, if you missed it. Colin Best, problem with his knee. Kamali's kick downfield. Fielded by Hodgson. Hasn't had a great deal of space tonight, Brett Hodgson. Opportunities haven't necessarily come his way, nor have they come for this man, El Masri. Just outside their 20. Menzies has had to be shifted to the centres. I don't think he'd be too wrapped in that, Steve Menzies. He's been selected as a back rower, but finds himself out of circumstance having to play the rest of the night in the centres. So not a chance to impress in his number one position in the back row. Well, that kick, Orford into Badderas and back into the head of Orford. A double pump.
Well, that's tremendous work from the chasers from Country, because it wasn't the last tackle, and here you can see that's a very, very good Falcon. And unfortunately the rain really starting to tumble down as another Country penalty. Sees them continue a good start to the second half. Fine work from Badderas to get them possession.
Well, Jody Gall's on the most wanted list in the penalty count tonight. Another one given away there. So Country first chance for points in their second half, with Perry only 10 metres away from the line, running at Menzies. Those who have umbrellas have got them up, but there's plenty without, as Badderas goes straight from dummy half. That's as soft as it comes for Country. They're number 9. Another one of the Newcastle cadets.
You can see here just the two City players. Steve Menzies was tempted to go across, but he stayed. And Danny Badderas, by going as play continues, you can see there the City defence in two-mind. They're not quite sure who's going to get who. Steve Menzies coming across late, 3-on-2. Badderas kept the football and the gap opened because he had support on the outside.
Yeah, well, Steve Menzies fine.
His runners that extra metre, half a metre, which can be the difference. Now this is the charge down. See Badderas coming in, straight back to Matt Orford. And Croker tried to get the football, and Badderas was able to.
Hicks another one from out wide. Talking Falcons, that is definitely in the final. I don't care what happens from here to the end of the year. Here's the kick from Hicks. That's his best one of the night. The Panthers lead by 28 points to 10. Points from Country. We are 4 minutes into the second half. Having a night out here in Bathurst now. 10-0 early. 10-0 after 12 it was. Croker for Country. Has been as solid as any of them tonight. Simpson. Interchanges up the sleeves of both coaches for their second half. A few options there. Fitzgibbon. Crossfield picking out Gasnier to run at. Just outside their 30 now, Country. Wheels back for Kamali. It's been good service between dummy half, first and second receiver all night for Country. Nice tackle here. Morrison was a little slow to play it. The chip over the top. Everything's working now for Kamali. Here they come, Country. 25 metres out from the line. Up for Tahu. Now for Morrison. Hodgson gets across. Morrison. That's a double movement for mine, but plenty of effort. Plenty of determination all the same from Glenn Morrison.
I disagree. Towards the line. And it doesn't really matter what he does with the arm then. It's only a double movement now if he is stopped.
I think you're right, Peter, and I think the normal speed replay is the one they should be going off. In the slow motion replay, you say double movement, but you see it in normal speed and you say, yeah, he's got momentum all the way, has he?
See, in the past, that is a double movement. But
well, as you read the rule book, a tackle is not completed until the slide ends. The arm carrying the football can come in contact with the ground, but if he's still sliding forward, there is no tackle affected.
Well, it doesn't worry me either way, but it's a very, very interesting one, that's for sure.
And set up again by Brett Kamali. So I'm very surprised at that.
It looked to me as if he was going to stop, and he physically lifted himself off the ground to get there. Lifting his shoulders and arms, so maybe...
Obviously, they agree with you, and I don't think it's going to make too much difference tonight. City, they've got to find something. They've got to get about 4 or 5 sets of 6 in a row, a couple of penalties, and somehow get back into this match, because at the moment it is one-way traffic.
City working away from their own 20 gives us a chance to go to Paul Harrigan to find out exactly what was said at half-time. Chief, all yours.
Yeah, for City, Graham Murray, he just said, let's hold the ball. It's all about ball possession, which will give them field position. He said, in your own teams, you've all been in this situation at half-time and you know how to get out of it. Unfortunately, Colin Best won't be back tonight. He's got that knee injury with the ligament damage, so unfortunately for the Sharks. With country Brian Smith, he just said more support for the ball runner, more bodies in motion, and really make the most of these attacking opportunities that they've been getting.
Tahu with it for country. Meter inside his own half, now Blacklock. I mentioned in the first half that supporters are expecting him to do something every time he touched the ball. I think I'm guilty of that too. Commentators are now looking for Blacklock. 17 tries in 15 games this year. You're just expecting some of that magic. 8 tries the last 3 matches. Only another run.
And look, he's putting himself in the game. You can see there again, he's on the inside, he's off his wing. He's just doing what he's done every weekend. At times the ball comes your way, other times it doesn't. So far, after nearly 50 minutes, it just hasn't fallen his way, but who knows, in the next half hour that may change.
And even then, on that occasion, Petey was on the inside of Scott Hill. I could see him talking to Scott Hill. Kick for me. He did put a kick in, all to no avail. But he is trying his absolute best tonight, Nathan Blacklock.
Going back to Martin Afai, Martin Afai had his critics, but the great thing about Martin Afai, the English winger who scored a glut of tries, was the fact that he went looking for the football. He didn't score all his tries out on the wing. He was in the middle of the field looking to take advantage of players' skill. That's why he got across the line so often. Last tackle now, Orford under pressure again from Badiris. Finds open space, might be too long. McClendon allows that to... No, in fact, he picks it up. Surprised at that.
And McClendon back. Utility from Canberra. You mentioned Martin Afai, still playing in England. Still scoring tries. Got one just a fortnight ago. There's Albert. Almost back to the 20 for country. And there is Blacklock. A one-handed scoop from dummy half. Now to their 30.
Haven't seen him miss any tackles tonight either.
They could have played on the 40. Lewis back in field with Fitzgibbon. Galea there in defence with Thompson. Ben Galea's got through plenty of defensive work since coming on. He came on for Best. That's where the reshuffle happened. Deep kick. El Masri has a job in front of him, and Morrison there first up. Just put him straight down. An elusive runner.
He's had a very good year, Glenn Morrison. I remember Tim Sheens commenting earlier when he had a job, Tim. He was coaching the North Queensland boys, and he kept saying Glenn Morrison's playing the best football of his career. You've got to give him a go in the rep teams. Well, they trust him for the New South Wales side, but he's got to start in the country team, and he's having a blind.
Well, Morrison's form's been every bit as good as Andrew Ryan. Andrew Ryan's been outstanding for Parramatta. Morrison wouldn't have let anyone down, wouldn't think on what he has shown this year. Here is Wing, under pressure, but got the kick in. On the bounce and a slide pass for McClendon. Now back for it. Inside the 30 for country, McClendon. One on there was Orford. He's the ring in the City side. He is a country boy, but he's playing there for City as Albert gets back to halfway. Blacklock, and in the centre of the field with Hicks. 40 metres from the City line. City at a stage of the game where they're just hanging on. Now Britt. Again, the country jumper you saw flash past was Blacklock. He's just been let off the leash for the second half. Here is Hill, passing wide for Croker. Good defence there from Menzies and Orford. That forces the turnover with El Masri. And then El Masri's lost it, and now Kamali is with it. Advantage was played, and country are back with it. Tahu. He's only 10 from the line. Setting themselves to the right. Kamali sends them that way with Hill, then a step past Thompson, and scores.
Only moments ago, coming a little bit awkwardly on the big centre. Slow up a 6 now, another simple conversion.
From 11 metres out, Hicks the kicker. He's only missed one tonight. 6 tries, it is 34-10 in Friday night. 12 gone in the second half. We repeat from 10-0. It has been all country. Darren Britt inside the 20. Badiris back in field with Morrison. You'd probably say he's been the most dominant forward for Country so far. Morrison, most dominant forward out there. Riles is back for another charge. To tune into Nathan Brown again. His instructions after that most recent try. Try number 6 for Country tonight. We'll get back to Brownie as Simpson is tackled 41 metres away from the city line. And then with Hill, and now on for Kamali. Runners everywhere. The inside pass for Hindmarsh. 32 away. Last tackle for Country. Morrison, not for the first time tonight, following up a try. They've covered a lot of ground. Kamali's kick back in field. Fielded there by Blacklock. Then out the back. McClendon wasn't able to get to it. And Dykes is there, the last line for City.
Wait, stay square, Marcus.
Well, that does get everyone to their feet to see the Country number 2 there. And the pass out the back, it goes to hand, they score, and now more troubles. Dykes is injured. His Sharks teammate already out of the night, Colin Best. Minicello for City.
Put him up, hands off. Wait.
Just an observation on Brian Smith, the way that he coaches. We saw the interchange there, and the Country side at this stage any more than City. I think most people think that you bring interchange on to cover weaknesses when you've had to do a lot of defence. I think at times Brian Smith actually changes players when he's really got a firm hold on the game and he just wants to ram that home.
Hands off.
You'll see when things are going well for your side that he'll actually use interchange in that situation to really continue the advantage as Chris Hicks goes centre field.
The back of a penalty conceded by Gaznia. They're now only 15 away. It's not really a matter of if, it's when, it seems, with Country, when they will score. Morrison just 5 metres away again. Good last line of defence tackle from Menzies. Sliding there was Riles. He is only 5 away as well. Harris for Kamali. There is Hill. Inside pass for Hindmarsh. She's lost it. Able to force the knock on.
Hindy, you're now on the right. Defending on the right. Yeah. Simo, now you're in the middle. You're defending middle. Yeah. Yeah, bud.
So just defensive plays. And Hindmarsh to the right side of the field. Steve Simpson the left. And Hindmarsh has followed those instructions. He's on that right side now.
And that's his favourite side for Parramatta. He does play wide to the right, his brother Nathan wide to the left. Comfortable situation as Lance Thompson trying to inspire his side.
Just a suggestion there of a head slam in that tackle on Lance Thompson. He came down very strong. Well, certainly there's no doubt the back of his head hit the ground hard. Whether the intent was there, Hindmarsh and Hill, the players involved in the tackle. Lance Thompson sickened by it. And there's no deliberate head slam there from either player. It's just something that can happen in a league tackle.
And some people may think that you're not allowed to trip. You actually can put your foot in a position to trip if you've got a hold of the player. And they definitely did on that occasion as Blacklock onto McClendon. He's taken 35 out from his own line. Lance Thompson still very groggy after that tackle, now on his feet.
Skipper in City tonight for the first time. Here is Albert for Country.
Come on, Brett, on.
Right inside their own half, Badiris works to the left with Riles. Now inside the City half. Still 5 interchanges remaining for Country, 6 for City. As Country creep up inside that City 40. And Britt to play it. Scored the second try of the night, or rather the first try of the night for Country, the third try of the match. Here is Hill. That was a risky ball, trying to force it there. For Hicks. Hicks was unhappy with the interference.
Attack tonight is just dynamic, and Scott Hill and Brett Kamali are most responsible there. But if you remember last year, Scott Hill is linking inside passes with the New South Wales team, were instrumental in them winning the game. But I think he's putting a lot of questions to the New South Wales selectors tonight, having a great game.
And Hill, who played last year's series at lock forward.
Chief, I've got to say that your attack is fluent if you're getting good service out of the dummy half area. And we've spoken a couple of occasions tonight on Danny Badiris' role. He's been very good at putting the ball out in front of people to run onto at exactly the right place at exactly the right time.
Well, I think he's taking his opportunity tonight with both hands. He's a wonderful athlete and a great player, and I think you can expect bigger things from him, that's for sure.
Expedition there at a dummy half for Craig Wing. Able to make 10 metres. Galera away for Orford. Then the short pass. penalty treatment on Galea. He was 40 metres away from the line with Gaznia.
There should have been a penalty there to City. Brett Kamali came up with a great tackle, but then was offside. Last tackle now against the City team. Dykes, nearly an intercept run, unable to be taken by Menzies.
And then on the bounce to El Masri, they've ruled the ball travelled forward, so Country will have it on the last tackle. Beaver's not happy. Country away from their own 20, but it has been a long time. Even with the 2 tries they scored, there's been no sustained attack deep inside Country territory at all tonight from City. Haven't been able to build anything up. Country with Riles turning and passing for Hindmarsh. Better defence there as Wing hunts in with his captain Thompson. McClendon for Kamali. Back for Moody. Get up, Ben. Just inside the City half. McClendon. Moody, who just played it, was flat-footed and then able to still make 6 or 7 metres. 5th tackle here for Country. Kamali on the left, first receiver. Poor play the ball from Moody. Kamali's kicking it across for the wing of El Masri. Hasn't had some troubles in the first half, not now. Comes down with it, Hazem El Masri. He has done many times for the Bulldogs this year. Sitting back with the ball. Just hasn't been a winger's night. The 2 City men, or rather Anthony Minicello and Hazem El Masri. Minicello got the first try, but he's been able to set plays for them. He's in there at dummy half now, looking for the ball, El Masri. This is wide with Dykes. Then for Gaznia. The 40-metre line. Gaznia back in field. He's twisted in that tackle. He's okay. Mark. Suffered that broken leg last year. Lance Thompson now 5 inside his own half. 5th tackle for City. But there again, an example of the difference between the sides, City and that set of 6. Only making 30 or so metres. Country, it seems, every set of 6, 60 and 70. As Blacklock runs it back. In front on by Ruben. This time, Albert coming through. Thompson had him. 6 straight tries that Country have scored as Riles is already 5 metres short of halfway. Country on tackle 3. Linden. Infield with Kamali. Then on for Britt. Juggled it all the way. It's play on for Country with Kamali. And there were numbers on the left, and then Kamali's pass is intercepted by Menzies. I got a little call in there on Brett. Penalty conceded by McClendon. The steam is really out of the City effort at the moment. Hodgson finding the line. The game has gone down a cog over the last 5 or 10 minutes. Woody City can ignite it inside the Country 20 this time. Kalis the first hit up. Away from the line. Brad Drew with a second row at Gall. Looking to the playmakers. Orford is there on the left. Drew able to run it that time. Oh, if Britt has him. Only 5 metres away. City haven't scored since the 12th minute of the game. Orford drifting across. There's Hodgson. Stands in the tackle of Simpson. Country's defence.
He knocked that on.
Able to hold firm. Hodgson looking for a runner inside. Menzies not able to get the ball. That is the last tackle. And they are still 5 metres away. It's like a brick wall there. Kamali. Short pass for Menzies. It was Orford, in fact, to Menzies, of course. And Menzies tackled on the last. So Country's defence resilient.
Yeah, great effort there by Steve Menzies. He scored 100 and something tries for the Manly and Northern Eagles clubs. A little short ball from Orford. They played together last year for the Northern Eagles. Little combination there. And the Beaver tried oh so hard to get over that line, but Kamali, his Northern Eagles teammate now, pulls him back.
Probably the best rap I could give Orford. It was Kamali like the pass. Short ball there for Menzies, and now for Simpson. One thing Brian Smith has done, he's certainly given the interchange troops plenty of game time. Hill floating pass right on the line for Tahu. That's the 5th tackle, and this has been really good defensively from City. It's one of the first times Country have had to kick out of a danger zone. Hodgson back for it. It went dangerously close to the sideline. Hodgson's got a bit of room here, and he's got Minicello in support. Inside their own half. Brad Drew, Craig Wing, then Hodgson, and now Dykes, and this time for Gasnier. A step away from Albert, then got away of the cover of Hindmarsh. Albert comes again. Intercept ball on the inside for Hindmarsh.
Isn't that a great left foot step that he's got, Mark Gasnier? To be able to do what he just did, step twice in about 5 metres and beat 2 players, absolutely brilliant.
Country straight away, looking to spread with Tahu, taken on by El Masri. El Masri trying to take Tahu in turn over the sideline. 5 metres inside the Country half, inside the City half as Morrison able to pass, then back from McClendon. Flying through is Moody. They've got the City defence very ragged at the moment. Block a dummy half. Kamali, cut-out ball, finding Hicks on his outside as Albert over his shoulder. Nathan Brown has had a run out there with some instructions. Let's hear what Nathan has had to say to the Country boys.
Just check Biddy, it's not urgent. Just ask him how he's going. He needs to pick up a bit in Billy for us.
Hey, Briddy, how you travelling, bud? You all right? Coach said just to work a bit harder in D for us. Push him up, Ting.
And D is for defence. Better prop, I'd love to get that. Come on, work harder in defence, will you?
Britty is Darren Britt, wing with a drop ball. Simpkin says knocked back. A couple of players down at the moment. There is some great concern on the far side for Tamana Tahu for Country. Big play might have to be held up here. Menzies also has a problem for City as Drew. Play continues for City on halfway. Drew and away for Orford. They are away, City. And Orford, clean pair of heels. Inside the 20, the kick. Blacklock's got it covered for Country. And Blacklock is covered up there by El Masri.
Yeah, it all came to nothing, unfortunately. And there is grave concern for Tamana Tahu. There was some blood up around the face area, up around the nose. Just from the way they've got him positioned, you can see that there is some concern there. It's Stephen Menzies come in. Tamana Tahu just had his head in the wrong place, and I think he's taken the boot accidentally of Steve Menzies in the face. See, they're completely, first the knee and then the boot. So that was a double hit, and no wonder he has stayed down.
With a bit of luck, it's only the facial laceration that they're worried about for Tamana Tahu, 20 years of age, representative debut. He's back and he's up. He will count as an interchange.
They've ended up counting their way, although they do restart from under the posts.
34-10. Country having to defend here as City will come launching themselves back with Ruben. 30 metres away from the Country line. Drew for Kalis. And just outside the 20. Britt was there in defence with Hindmarsh. Orford's got them going to the left with Dykes. And then away for Galea. The Tiger is inside the 10. Galea carries them in goal and loses the ball. No suggestion it was stripped. It was Galea trying to fight his way free to force the football.
Once again, Nathan Blacklock, the last line of defence. He slung him around. Wasn't a conventional tackle. Great form for the West Tigers.
Country, their line remains intact from the 12th minute on. Now inside the final 15 minutes. Ryle, strong run, had a call on his outside from Hicks. Just could only look left with the attention of Ian Rubin. Simpson for Hill, now for Morrison. He has been very damaging in all facets tonight. Glenn Morrison, see, outside the City 30. Been a while since Country posted points. Hill, inside there for Simpson. The tackle was Rubin, prevented the offload. Last tackle here for Country. Morley, Morrison passes on for Croker, his kick. Simpkins has to decide whether it was played at. He's going to rule it was played at, is he? No, he's ruled City ball.
There's the attendance, almost 9,000 here at Carrington Park, which is a good crowd. There's been plenty of enthusiasm up here in the last 24 hours. For those people who had some doubts about this game, wish you could have experienced what we have up over here over the last day. Plenty of people talking rugby league, not just this match, but Origin on Sunday night. A very good exercise.
Yes, now City all over the sideline. No flag was raised, so it's play on for Country. That's the result they wanted with Riles. We'll get a chance to discuss the merits of the game, the intensity of it on the Sunday Footy Show, 11 o'clock on Sunday. Wrap up of this match, interviews from the rooms as Britt, one of the players we'll speak to about his golden try in the first half. Weighing it 10 metres away from the City line. To the left with Medeiros, now for Riles. Riles just pops it up out of the toaster for Morrison. Now only 4 away, Galea over the top with Reuben. A little play it in a sloppy fashion. Kamali for Hill. There is Blacklock. Propel himself through the gap. Kamali for Hill, working the right side. Hill goes himself and gets over for Country. Second try for the 5'8". 38-10. It is 7 tries to 2. Hicks with this kick. 12 metres in from the eastern touchline. That's the Sydney side of the ground. The western side, we might call it the Cowra side, or the Blaney side of the ground. Here's Hicks's kick. He hails from Taree, kicking towards the Taree end. Hicks's kick off the boot will miss. So he's only had a couple of misses. 9 remaining. And once this game is completed, we warm up for Origin number 2 on Sunday night. Queensland look to wrap up the series. New South Wales looking to draw level, take it to the decider at ANZ. Morrison another hit up. The coverage begins 7:30 Sunday night. Morrison had a look up after that tackle. The number of the player.
Yeah, with Jason Kalis, who was called to come off the shoulder. He certainly went up high. Clumsy, but no dramas. As the change shows, Country only have the 1 left. Again, Morrison, and that's been the big improvement in Glenn Morrison's game, his passing ability. When he started off with Balmain, he was a fine running forward, but couldn't pass the ball.
Riles another strong hit up. Well, Morrison is one player that has really made the most of his chance tonight. Loose pass fielded by Hicks. Headed back in field and away from Kalis. His tackle for Country. Medeiros. At this stage of the match, I think you just throw absolutely everything into it. Trying with a kick. Blacklock came down with fresh air. It is play on for Country though. But that was the last tackle. And the changeover. Croker's a little perplexed by it. He's for City. He had the jump. Now Masri was prepared to let Nathan fly high there. Lance Thompson. A bad knock in this second half, but has stayed out there.
Call 2.
That won't please him.
Call 2.
I would have thought that would have been a penalty. Even though he's called 2, the Country man did end up with the football. The game, all academic at this stage, especially with the scoreline being the way it is.
2. Call 2. Call 2.
Well, that was Paul Simpkins. The call was definitely there. Now for Hicks for Country. The chance is on with them, and there's 7 minutes remaining. 38-10. We will start to go through the record books to find their biggest win, as Hindmarsh has tackled 10 away. The last 2 battles have been a lot closer than this. The Country have won. Kamali cut out ball there with Hill. Working for Blacklock. He put it down. Ricochet off Hill for Croker. But he has ruled a knock on.
Well, they're sweating. Everyone here is sweating on Nathan Blacklock scoring a try. They'll tear the grandstand down when he gets one. The ball deemed to go forward off Blacklock. He's tried oh so hard tonight. Been very impressed tonight with Chris Hicks in the centres for the Country side. He's had a really good game, Chris Hicks. Runs strongly with the football.
He Lindsay's now down for City. You can just see him in back play there, top of screen, getting up slowly. Gasnier was tackled inside the 20. Orford away with wing. Taken across field by Croker. It's a professional performance tonight from Jason Croker, a player who's obviously got a lot of pride in his performance. He's handled the disappointment of being dropped from the New South Wales team. He's come out tonight and played the role of one of the more experienced players very well. City with it, 5 inside their own half. Foot across with Dykes. Dykes hasn't really had a chance to run with it. Gasnier on the bounce. Now for Minicello. Clean up work for him. He tries a kick over the top from on his own 40. Now rushes through Minicello. Doesn't come up with it. They all stop. And Moody comes down with it. On halfway. Diaz for Albert. Colin Ward back out there for City. Lyles, Kamali with a jink and a step and away from Galea. Ended up on his backside without getting a hand on Kamali. Medeiros, now Jason Ryles, put down by Perry. El Masri comes up with it for City. And El Masri through the first tackle. His biggest win by Country. Country Origin back in '94 was 22-2. So they've gone past that well and truly. Breakthrough. With Orford. Then for Dykes. Inside for Thompson. Halfway. Orford. Colin Ward. There's a starting front row when they clashed in '97 for City. Here's Brad Drew. 35 away from the line, but they're really only going through the motions. Put down by Wing. Fielded there by Ryles. I don't think City would mind if the siren sounded now to end this fixture. There's a call there, a forward pass. It's come from the touch judge on the far side of the ground. Knock on.
He's got to regain it. Hits the other player. Knock on.
Yeah, the referee just explaining that the ball travels forward and touches the defender, even if it's regathered by the ball carrier, as it is there from Josh Perry. It is a knock-on. If it didn't touch the defensive player, he has every right to grab it again and play continues. Country will now finish this game with the 13 men out there. All the interchanges have been used. Brian Smith will have loved every second of this foray into representative coaching. His team has done him proud.
Wing now playing lock for City. Break away from that scrum. Gasnier. He's 32 metres away from the line. Wing at dummy half. Of all trades at the moment. Ward. Coming up at Ward was Fitzgibbon. Right through. Hustling Barry. Another charge for Ward. Barry Ward 20 metres away from the line. Brad Drew to the left with Orford. Support on his outside. Didn't get the ball to Galea. That was a good ball and all tackle from Simpson. They go to the left and a chance for Hodgson. Only 5 metres from the line. It is the last tackle for City. They haven't scored since the 12th minute. Orford, it was a high pass. Then across for Drew. Numbers on his outside elected to kick. And a soft ending to that because it bounced up easily into the arms of Blacklock. And Country now come off their own line. Wish his brother Nathan well. Struggling with a back problem after that match against the Sharks last Sunday. If he wasn't going to be picked for New South Wales, he certainly would have been here tonight. Country through and through. His brother there left to represent the Hindmarsh family from Robertson.
And that man won't be that disappointed that he did pick up that injury. Craig Fitzgibbon was called into this game as Blacklock again doesn't get the bounce. Brad Drew does. And allowed Morrison to come into the starting lineup. Jason Croker, play on to Perry. He slips one out the back. Can the Country side put on another try in the final 2 minutes?
They're 30 metres away from the line. Let's look for Scott Hill. He's the man, second receiver on this right side. Ryles gets it first. Straight up run for young Jason. As far as the City 20-metre line. Now with Kamali, Hill is on his outside. Hill channels back infield for Moody. Only 5 away from the city line. 38 points to 10. Badiris with Kamali, not his best kick. The ricochet, a good one for Country though. And a line dropout for City. They'll get one last shot at the city line.
They're still trying very hard. Brett Kamali's had a big game tonight. He and Scott Hill, their combination's been outstanding out there for Country. Country have won this because they play with a lot more enthusiasm and a lot more commitment to the city.
One dropout, one bounce. No, in fact, out on the full. So the penalty from in front, I don't think there'll be any suggestion, any thought of going for goal. Let's go for another try. Restart from Badiris with Kamali. Cut out ball to a flying Blacklock. He delivers. Here's the somersaults and the backflips, the whole lot. Talk about timing. He's waited to the 80th to score.
Well,
42 to 10, Fat Man.
We've had to wait nearly an hour and a half, but he's finally got there and he's relieved. The crowd's relieved. They'll all go home happy tonight. They're still clapping and cheering. They've gone wild here at Carrington Park. All from a mistake. Tragic night for the City team. And here it was. Kamali, what a game he's had. Lovely pass, straight pass, long out there to Nathan Blacklock. And what a way to finish.
We should have the Nathan Blacklock show bag for City Country night. It'd be a bestseller. They've waited for this. How do you do that? Nathan Blacklock, #1 entertainer in rugby league, and can play the game.
And a fitting for Nitty. And now Nathan Blacklock has been given the opportunity to convert his own try. A resounding victory to the Country boys to make it 3 in a row, and he's...
Oh, he won't miss, will he, Nathan Blacklock? Well, he doesn't get the goal. It was left to Tinga's finest to finish the night. But he did get the last try, 42 to 10. Let's hear the last word from Nathan Brown tonight.
Hey, Ting, why don't you get a try, mate? Ting, you got a minute, 30 to get a try, mate. You're kidding yourself.
Great instructions, great advice from Nathan Brown before that last try was scored. Well, you can get out the Slim Dusty CDs right now and...
is the reward for Country tonight after a resounding 42 to 10 victory over City. The pendulum really has swung in the City Country fixture. That is now 3 wins in a row for the Country boys, and a very happy team along with their coach Brian Smith, revelling in this victory this evening in Bathurst. Plenty of try scorers for Country. Scott Hill got a double. Britt Kamali, Perry, Hicks, Badiris and Blacklock all crossed. Good night for Chris Hicks. He kicked 5 from 7. Blacklock unsuccessful with his conversion. While for City, some early tries to Minicello and Gasnier. El Masri kicked 1 from 2. Man of the match tonight, and there were plenty of contenders from the victors. The man we opted for is with Paul Harrigan.
Beat the $1,000 McDonald's man of the match goes to Brett Kamali. Well, Brett, a record win for Country, but you did answer the critics the best way of not being selected in the New South Wales side with a wonderful performance tonight by yourself.
Yeah, it was a good performance. We got off to a bad start, but we always had faith in the side. At training, we've just been coming together really well. We've had an excellent week, and confidence was always there that if we played some footy, we could win. Considering the score at the end, it was an unusual start of the game, 10-0 down. Yeah, it was a bit strange. Even the second try, I thought was we might have scored, but 10-0 down, it's a bit strange, but it probably fired us up a little bit to come back, and from then on, I thought we're great. What about the old combination between yourself and Scott Hill, just on fire tonight? Yeah, it's certainly great playing with Scotty again. It's a shame we couldn't stay together, or either one couldn't be together. So it's as if we haven't left, and I enjoyed it. And, the game was excellent. Nathan Blacklock, Tinga, what about his backflip? What do you give it out of 10? Mate, we'll give him 10 out of 10, but I think he needs a new routine. We told him earlier in the week to practice something else. A new whack. Well, congratulations. Make your day $1,000. Thanks to McDonald's, and all the best, mate. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. Thanks, McDonald's and Channel 9.
Brett Kamali at his very best tonight, and Paul, it really made it easy for the rest of the side with him pulling the strings.
Well, Brett's been playing pretty well for about a month now with the Northern Eagles, and he got dropped from that New South Wales team. I'm sure he was showing everyone concerned who dropped him just how well he can play. His kicking game was superb, his chasing game was good, and Brett Kamali tonight ran to the line more than I've seen him do for probably the last 6 to 8 weeks. He really took them on, came up with that try, but it wasn't a great game of rugby league, but a great exercise to come here to Bathurst. The country people have loved it. Everyone around the town has really had a couple of good days of the footy show last night, the game tonight. But the highlight for me was Nathan Block's somersault. Good on you, Nathan.
Yeah, it was a fitting finale tonight, as we mentioned. Plenty of good players for country. I thought Scott Hill was outstanding.